Hello and welcome to this edition of our live YouTube interaction. This is research, innovation, and commercialization program. With me, your host, Dr. Norman Kachamba. I am the beta and the concept generator around the concept of this research, innovation, and commercialization YouTube channel. In this program, I am here to bring information and to bring some kind of thinking that should help us look and face reality in the way it should be, especially as we look at the re-education of Africa. And by the way, this whole program is stemming from re-education agenda for Africa, edupreneurship. You could have followed part of the episodes of this program on my Facebook page. And so now I would love that you join me on this YouTube channel where I'll be advocating for a lot of these issues and things that have actually delayed and disturbed our progress in terms of development economically, socially, even spiritually as Africans. And so please do enjoy this live telecast. And to begin with, I want to deal with a few issues that seem to be a problem in my view and in my experience and the research to Africa. These are serious impediments that we need really to face with the kind of approach that they deserve. We don't need to put on kids' gloves as we deal with these matters. And so, dear friends, colleagues, wherever you be following this live telecast, I do encourage you to enjoy this series. So today, I just want to look at the purpose of research. Why research? And how did research really come to be anything in human life, human progression? In the first place, I would love to appreciate the biblical concept and perspective that identifies man as having been created by a God that exists and having been created for a specific purpose. And then this man was created with an innate mechanism to grow. And so when you look at the very many texts that we can glean from the Bible, we find a lot has been said about just how this man has been created and how this God has created this man. One of them is just what is found in Psalms 8, where the psalmist says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. An expression of bewilderment, amazement, and simply an expression of a mystery around the creation of human beings. Just how all these organs, the cells, the tissues, and the like have been brought together to function in a so fashionable way. It is something quite amazing just how we are created. And so we need to realize that aspect. Before we can talk about the trivialities of the differences in races, differences in tribes, and whatever it is, we should not lose focus on the fact that human beings are created. Just remove the skin and remove the language that you are ever using in your communication. You actually agree with me that there is more that we need to appreciate about how we are created as human beings. Now, with that in mind, we can now pick one thing that God puts up after creating man. He says, go and explore. Now, man is not created and it remain left in a vacuum. He is created after the earth has been loaded and everything that is required for man's survival and growth is there. And then God places man, says, you are now going to explore and subdue. Now, you cannot subdue what you've not explored. And so it's very important before you can begin subduing, before you can begin assessing, evaluating, establish. And this is the command. Now, when you look at this command, behind it is the fact that man has been created with the ability to inquire, the ability to move, the ability to synthesize, the ability to analyze. And these are all the skills that account for his growth. And so when we talk about this aspect of research, it is all about search and seek and look for. And when you look for, you shall come to some understanding. When you understand, you shall grow into wisdom. And this is what we are created and made to be. And so when we talk about research, colleagues, my lovely audience, we are talking about just what God made us and gave us as the wheels to drive our growth processes. And so if we do not get into inquiry, then we cannot make any discovery. And if we can't make any discovery, we cannot talk about growth, we can't talk about innovation, we can't talk about even sustainability. So these issues go together and are inseparable. And when we have made discovery, again, takes us back to the Bible where Christ says, you are the light. The light that is put cannot be hidden, must be put on the mountain. You cannot get yourself enlightened, illuminated, and then you can push yourself in the bushel. What is so normal and logical is for you, once you are enlightened, to put yourself on the mountaintop. And this is what brings us to what we call publication. You publish or perish. And this is what is so crucial about our discussion this time around. And so as we are dealing with the issues of publication and research, these go together. You can't search, find, and then hide. Then you have not done anything. And so we go on trying to discover, then we publish. Now, there are certain things that we, as we get into research, that we need to appreciate. Number one, research is meant to establish truth. Research is simply the process and the quest for establishing truth. So before you can speak about the truth, research should precede speaking about the truth. And that gives authority to speak about such a thing. So if you do not search, then you are better off not to speak, or else you speak without authority. So we need to have authority to speak because we have done our search and our research. And then the second thing, research should help us to confirm what we have heard. We will have to confirm. We have heard, we have read. So when we get out with, we launch out to go and conduct research, there is something that we have heard, but we cannot rush into saying it is so until we have gathered enough of facts around it. There are certain claims that people have made. The earth is flat. The spider has 8 legs. Whatever it is that claims that people can make, we have not to simply say, okay, this has been said. Who has said it? Okay, it's my father. After all, he's my father. I'm born from him. Who am I to question what he says? No, we have every reason to gather and gain an understanding. So we must confirm. You know, maturity begins at a point where we begin questioning even the thing that you have lived with from birth. We have all reasons. And this is why, as we move, we are going to discover that much of what our greatest teacher, Jesus Christ, has taught, he has also left us to begin investigating, to try it. And he says, test every spirit. Because if you are just going to accept anything, you become so gullible. And so this is the reason when we talk about research, this is one thing that helps us to establish, to confirm. We need to confirm the verity and validity of what is being claimed and advanced by whoever advances it. And so That's one reason we should do research. Then the other important reason we should do research is to find solutions. Find solutions. Now, in the other one that I just made, the second one, in trying to confirm, this is where we find answers to questions. You know, answers to questions are confirmations, and we're trying to see if this claim really is in line with what is generally accepted and what is established already. So, but when we come to research to find solutions, not all answers may be solutions. But so we need to go beyond just mere finding answers into finding solutions to problems. And this is what is so critical in our research. We need to find solutions. You know, the world we live in is so much engrossed, it's a world of problems, and the problems include our very existence, that we are problems. So we need to constantly engage in research to find these solutions. Now, solutions are never exhaustive in to all problems. You know, solutions are just like satisfying some needs, and needs are infinite. Needs do not end. As soon as you satisfy a certain kind of need, another need automatically pops up. And so we continue looking for solutions. And so as we do this, this is where now we talk about advancing the frontiers of knowledge. Advancing the frontiers of knowledge. And as we advance the frontiers of knowledge, we are simply saying that knowledge will end at some point, but then we can continue adding to this, the stocks of knowledge that we have. And so this is the thing. So we have to provide solutions. And when we have provided solutions, then we can address problems that humanity is facing. And so research is key to finding solutions. And the process of finding solutions is presented in different ways. And human beings want to find solutions in different ways. We have the needs, but the means to satisfy these needs are the issues of research. Finding means to satisfy the needs. Now, we find means. These means, some of them could be unethical, and so as long as you want the need to be satisfied, you use these means. And so research is about looking for ethical means of satisfying the needs. Looking for ethical means that satisfy the needs. Needs can be satisfied even in an ethical way, and this is what brings about confusion. And so this is why, as we talk about the ethical issues of research, we want to find means of answering questions that do not harm anybody, because what is it will going to benefit if you can find a solution which creates a bigger problem in the process. And so this is why we have these issues. And if you go into business practice, issues of corporate responsibility, talking about sustainability and all those things, these are all ways of trying to make sure that the means that we use to meet our needs are not in any way conflicting with the dignity of humanity. And so this is the essence of research. So with that in mind, I want us to just say in this first episode, just to appreciate and confront one practice, because research is, of course, about trying to look at what we have been doing, begin questioning. Are we doing the right thing? Okay, even what the right thing that we can ever do. We can still ask ourselves, is this the only right way this right thing can be done? I believe in one fact that even what I know is not only in one way, and that is from my point of view, but it is also known differently by different people. And so I don't want to quickly trash whoever does not know, excuse me, what I know the way I know it. But I want always to look at, how does this person know what I know? Does he know it the way I know it? Okay, well, there is a difference between the way I know it and how they know it. How best can we reconcile these variations in the way we know and perceive this reality? And so we sit down, and research always brings up that kind of a gap that exists in the variations of perspectives held about one reality by different people viewing it from different angles and holding different lenses. We view reality through some lens, which we call our past experience, and that is what projects what we call our perceptions. And so in this regard, research also serves to help us reconcile our perceptions about this reality that confronts all of us. But then we probably hold different perspectives, and we would love to see that we get one thing. Now, one important thing that we should bear in mind is we should realize our true enemy as human beings. There is no human being who is an enemy to the fellow human being. We only become agents of these true enemies. We only aid these true enemies to harm our fellow human beings. But we need just to realize that human beings are not supposed to be enemies of themselves. So we need to research that should bring us to that realization. And so when we have done our research and we have brought all the findings and the like, the question that comes is, for what do we do what we have done? When we know what we've done and why we've done it, then we should quickly fulfill. Because when we embark on research, we make a promise. Remember, you do your research and you gather your data. Much of it, if you see human subject research, you're getting it from their people. And in most cases, these people are not as privileged as you are as a researcher. And so when you've done all that, they've given you 6 hours, they've given you all that they've seen, then you have to get back and they analyze your data. Very rarely do we get back to give out our outputs, our analysis of all that we've tried to gather from these people. And we simply find ourselves now rush for which one is a credible journal, which one is where am I supposed to publish so that people can feel that I really did the research. But such kind of practice, in my view, I want to confront it. The issue of trying to exalt one journal above the other, be this is credible, be that is what, in my view, is good, but I think it's not good enough. The credibility of the journal, yes, that is for academic. Research transcends mere academic activities, academic correctness, academic appropriateness to say you follow the methodology appropriately and the like. Research's primary focus is discovery, and discovery of new knowledge that should address our problems and problems that are affecting human beings in a way that we need to pull our friends that would be more affected by this problem than we are ourselves as researchers. And so we cannot just feed journals and so-called credible journals. We feed them with all the best findings without getting those findings back to the people that even contributed, participated voluntarily. Don't forget you gave them an assurance when you went into data collection. This is for academic purposes. But then I also wonder, why should it just be academic purpose and then you must shelve it in a journal? To me, that kind of approach is not the best. And especially for us as Africans, that is not the best practice. Can we come out of that cocoon of always wanting for looking for credible journals? You do your study. In Zambia, probably in a rural setup, you're trying to look at the issues of poverty and want to alleviate poverty. You get down there, you do your ethnographic study, you interact with the people, they give you information, do the observation, then you collect this thing called your paper, your journal publication article, assemble it professionally, and it's so beautifully done. Send to your reviewers. The reviewers actually look at it and commend it to say this is the best work, and so it must be published. And then you must receive so many downloads and all the accolades that surrounds a good publication. Good for nothing. I call it good for nothing. If it does not get back to Shangomba where you did your data collection, if it does not get back to Mwana Chingwala's chiefdom, does not get back to Namwala where you did your study, your PhD study, and did the data collection, if it does not benefit that farmer who is actually in terms of the problem that gave you the reason for your research, it is good for nothing. I must mention that one. It is good for nothing. And so for me, the issue of demonizing research and labeling it as substandard because it does not meet that credible journal, that does not meet the expectation of that group of reviewers who are looking for academic correctness and whatsoever, it is good for nothing. It is just like you have done you've gotten your light, you've done it, it has all the nice oil in it, and you lit it and go and hide it in a bushel. Journals are examples, very good examples of bushels where you hide your light as a researcher. So can you come out of that kind of cocoon that has enslaved and hidden that? And you know what? These guys know very well. Much of what we see, so-called innovations, advancements, and the like, the guys that access your journals that are so-called credible journals that are even protected with passwords, you can only access articles if you are registered from there. The publishers are coming from Africa. The guys that are using the same substance to innovate and bring about development for their own countries are out there. Africans must begin establishing their own journals and develop innovative solutions from their own works to address their own problems. After all, you gather your data from Africa. Even if some of the write-ups you want to quote literature from across the globe, very good, but I want you to continue the works that have been done by scholars within your region. In any literature review that does not appreciate works, whether published or unpublished, by the people within, to comment on the program and the progress of that problem that you're trying to address. Such kind of literature is empty. It's good for nothing. It's good for scholarly works, but not for human development. We want research that addresses human development, and this is what I'm advocating for on this program, Edupreneurship Re-Education Agenda for Africa. Welcome. I hope you've enjoyed this first live stream. If you like the program, please like the page and do send your comments and your contribution to making African and an African grow to the image of the maker. We don't need to have visions about the Africa we want. We must have visions about the African that should make the Africa we want. God bless you, and I hope to see you in the next episode of this.